Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh, Sat Sri Akal, and hello to everyone. My name is Nikki Gill, and I'd like to welcome you to this year's Sikhlens Vaisakhi virtual weekend celebration. I'll be your host for today's concert. Usually, the annual Sikhlens celebration is held at the Fish Interfaith Center on the Chapman University campus. This year, due to the pandemic, the Sikhlens Vaisakhi celebration is being expanded to a 3-day event, and it's being held virtually on the Sikhlens YouTube channel, which you are now watching. Today's concert includes separate sessions, which will run consecutively, so please stay tuned as each session transitions to the next. We start with Sonny Singh, a Brooklyn-based musician and a social justice educator. He has launched a solo project that reimagines the spiritual tradition of Sikh Kirtan with boundary-defying Punjabi anthems to uplift and ignite. For the last decade, Sonny has brought his fiery trumpet playing and vocals to audiences around the world as an original member of the Brooklyn Bhangra outfit Red Bharat, touring heavily and releasing 5 studio albums. Our next performers, known as Absolute Focus, provide an excerpt from a virtual live stream concert that they did in March 2021, entitled Women's Raga Massive Festival. Kamaljit and Jas Ahluwalia are part of the new wave of Asian musicians emerging from the Western Hemisphere. Kamaljit plays the santoor, a rare and exquisite hammered dulcimer zither, and her husband Jazz plays the illustrious tabla. If you're a fan of Monica Kaur and Kirtan, you'll want to stay tuned for her sessions. Monica has become the fastest selling contemporary Sikh solo artist in the world, placing Kirtan in the European world music charts for the very first time and amassing over 10 million views on YouTube. She begins with a spoken word performance about the farmers' protest in India, and then transitions into her famous Kirtan. Please enjoy all of the following sessions.
Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. My name is Sonny Singh. I'm a Brooklyn, New York-based musician and activist, and really happy to be a part of this Vaisakhi celebration put on by Sikhlens. Thanks so much for having me. I'm going to kick things off with a rendition of an old classic song by Tracy Chapman called Talking About a Revolution, as we move into celebrating Vaisakhi and reflecting on why the Khalsa was created in the first place as a body of armed revolutionaries to overthrow all forms of oppression and fight for justice. I thought this would be a nice one to start with. Don't you know, talking about a revolution sounds like a whisper. Don't you know, talking about a revolution sounds like a whisper. Poor people gonna rise up and get their share. Poor people gonna rise up and take what's theirs. Don't you know you better run, 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 run. 'Cause finally the tables are starting to turn. Talking about a revolution. Finally the tables are starting to turn. Talking about a revolution. Oh no. This next one is an improvisational piece with me on trumpet and my friend Jonathan Goldberger on guitar. During the pandemic, not being able to play music with people in real time has been really, really difficult. And improvisation is one of those things that we've really been missing, because you can't replicate it recording in different places at different times, right? It's all about that in the moment feeling. And so when rates were low in New York a few months back, my friend Jonathan and I got together on a Brooklyn rooftop at a safe distance outdoors and decided to improvise together, because we hadn't had a chance to do that in such a long time. So it was really beautiful to just be able to connect in that way and kind of bring it back to that sort of meditative vibe. So I hope you enjoy this one and it provides you with some peace and solace. So this next one I'm going to do is actually a shabad, one that I grew up with, Tirgar Beso Har Jan Pyare. I learned this when I was a child, and kirtan, like many Sikhs, was my first musical outlet as a child. I learned basic harmonium and tabla, and it was my entry point into music. And so a year or two ago, after many years of not doing much kirtan at all, as a working musician, playing with Red Bharat and other groups, playing lots of different styles of music, it just felt like the right moment to revisit really how it all started for me and really reconnect with Gurbani in this way through kirtan and through the lens that I've developed as a professional musician, playing lots of different styles of music. So this is me and a lot of friends in LA and New York approaching the same melody of Tirgar Beso that I learned when I was a kid, but through my lens now.
तिरकार बैसो हर जन प्यारे सतगुर तुम्हारे काज सवारे तिरकार बैसो हर जन प्यारे सतगुर तुम्हारे सवारे दूस्ता दूता परमेश्वर मारे जन की पैज रखी करता रे पाद सहा सहा सब वस करती ने अमृत नाम महारस पीने तिरकर बैसो हर जन प्यारे सतगुर तुम्हारे काज सवारे साध संगत मिल कीनो दान शरण परे प्रभे अंतर जामी नानक योट पकरी प्रभ स्वामी तिरकर बैसो हर जन प्यारे सतगुर तुम्हारे काज सवारे तिरकर बैसो
So I'm excited to share one more with you. This one is called Chardi Kala, which of course means the Sikh concept of revolutionary eternal optimism. I just released this single and music video a few weeks back. The video is directed by Hira Singh, and I'm really excited to share it with you all today. And of course, I want to dedicate it to the farmers who have been protesting for months for respect, for dignity, really resisting these authoritarian, pro-corporate policies of privatization by the Modi administration. And it's been just deeply inspiring to see their relentlessness and to see the resistance all over the world in solidarity with them. And so when I think about that steadfast commitment that the farmers have to their struggle, I really think it epitomizes what Chardi Kala is all about. And so with that, here is Chardi Kala. Thank you so much. Have a great night.